Hi, welcome to the second session review and makeup for the 2019-2020 CHS Professional Development, Google Classroom, and G Suite integration. This is for session 2, which is on the use and creation of Google Docs, Google Sheets, and Google Slides. We presently find ourselves at the home screen of Google Classroom. You will see my separate sections and courses here. And as we move forward, I will be showing you how to get to Google Docs, Google Sheets, and Google Slides through that. So if we go up to our Google Apps button, which is in the upper right-hand corner, the 9 boxes. If we click on the 9 boxes, you'll see that we have the option of creating docs, sheets, and slides. If you were to click directly on one of these, that will take you directly to that app, and from there you'll be able to work on your doc or sheet or slide. We can also click on Drive, and then in Drive we can create new documents, new sheets, and new slides. So let's start with Google Docs. Before we get to that, let's go down and look at our objectives. Our objectives here, we're going to explain how to create interactive Google Docs, Google Sheets, and Google Slides. We're going to demonstrate how to create effective and clear instruction on Google Docs, Sheets, and Slides. And then we're going to reflect on the possible implementation of Google Docs and Sheets and Slides in specific content fields. So creating a doc, as I've already talked about, you can go to google.com, look at the 9 buttons just as we've talked about. You could also go to www.drive.google.com. Click on New Google Docs, and you'll then be able to create it. So let's go ahead and click on Google Docs here. I have a new tab that's going to open up. And from here, you'll see I have a lot of different documents. I'm going to click on the blank. And from here, I've changed my background color because I wanted it to appear differently and easier on the screen. And from here, I have the opportunity, I can rename the document. So I could, at this point, type in that this is the example doc. And now I have the opportunity to kind of illustrate some similarities between Microsoft Word and Google Documents. So one example of that being the menu bar. So we have File, Edit, View, Insert, Format, Tools. Those things are all very similar to what you would see in Microsoft Word. And if you look under Edit, you can see Paste, Paste without formatting, Select All, Find, and Replace. All of those functions are available in Microsoft Word. Additionally, we have an editing ribbon. That is this ribbon right here that has all of our editing and formatting issues. So what is the font? What are the font sizes? Do we want to bold? Do we want to change the font color? Do we want to highlight, insert hyperlinks? All of that material is right here. Then we have the functions. So as far as functions, that would be hyperlinks, spell check, which is found underneath tools, underneath spelling. You can also do a word count fairly easily. And then we have some layout issues, right? We can easily get to alignment. We can look at line spacing if we would like to have a numbered list or bulleted list, increase, decrease, indentation, and then if we wanted to format with columns, we can go right here underneath format and we can have many different options. This is also how we get access to our headers and footers. All of this is very similar to how it would appear in Microsoft Word. Now, if we're going to create a sheet, we can also do that. And the sheet, if we go back to our classes, click on the 9 boxes, go to Sheets, and you'll see that here I get a similar listing. I'm going to click on blank. And there are different templates that they have available and the community has created. But in this case, we're just going to do a blank spreadsheet. And this is going to be very similar to Microsoft Excel. So with this, I'm going to click up here and I'm going to rename this example sheet. And as you can see, as far as similarities to Microsoft Excel, we have the menu bar. Again, File, Edit, View. Many of these are the same types of functions that you would have in Microsoft Excel. The editing ribbon, again, is right here. You have your zoom. You have, if you'd like to format currency or percentage, change decimal places, font, color, all of that material is right there. And then you have your functions. Again, we have the ability to insert a link. You have spell checking. Again, if we go to tools, we can go to spelling. You can also, from here, access conditional formatting. So that might be, underneath format, you have conditional formatting. Many of you might use that in Microsoft Excel. That's if you have some sort of input that it changes colors based off of the input that's in the individual cell. And then finally, we have formulas, which there are a couple different ways to get to your formulas. You can click right here, and you have all of these different formulas. There, Microsoft Excel, if we were to compare them straight across, probably not as powerful. Google Sheets, probably not as powerful as Microsoft Excel. However, the majority of the functions that you're going to be using a spreadsheet for, like I say, the majority of K-12 classes would be just as sufficient using Google Sheets. Next, let's go ahead and look at a slide. So if we go back to our classroom tab and we click on the 9 dots and we click on slides. Okay, and now I have again many different options on top here I could create, but I can also click on blank, and for right now that's what I'm going to do. Now the interface for this is very similar to Microsoft PowerPoint. And with PowerPoint, you have a lot of different functions for creating presentations. We're going to go ahead and rename this one in the upper left-hand corner, Example Slide. And you'll notice that with each type of Google app, it's very similar to the next type. And we've already seen 3 times now that we can title things in the upper left-hand corner. We could also move to a specific folder. Lots of different options here. So what are the similarities between Microsoft PowerPoint? Well, as you've guessed it, we have the ability to look at the menu bar here. We have File, we have Edit, View, we can do animations through that, we can change the grid system, zoom in, zoom out, all of these different functions. And then we have the editing ribbon, which again right here we have undo, do, printing, we have text boxes, changing the background, those types of things. When we get to our functions, we have the ability to insert hyperlinks still. If we go into insert, you can see we've got just a ton of different options here. We can insert an image, text box, video. Okay. If we wanted to do a hyperlink, if you click directly on a piece of wording, you'll see that it appears right here, insert link. You can also insert a comment and things, and I'll talk about that in just a moment. And then we also have the ability to have kind of common things between Microsoft PowerPoint and slides. We have down here speaker notes. So these would appear if you were going to do a presentation on your screen or on your notes, but they will not appear on the screen that you are presenting. Additionally, we have themes that we can add and click through. So I could change the theme easily, and that's going to change all of the incoming new slides. So if I right click and go new slide, it's going to change the theme for that automatically. I could also change the layout if I wanted to. This is very similar to Microsoft PowerPoint. I can add and change those types of things. I could change the background if I wanted, color, image. Much of what, again, you can do in Microsoft PowerPoint, you can do in Google Slides. So now let's move on and let's talk about the power of Google. So there are some differences between Microsoft Office, and that includes Excel, PowerPoint, and Word, to the Google apps. One of those is found in Tools. I'm going to go back to my example of documents, and just to show you some of these things, if you click on Tools, I have the ability to explore using the dictionary. So let's say I'm writing a research paper, and I've said that the author argues that the changes are not needed. Okay, something very generic here. But if I have a word that I'd like to maybe get maybe a synonym for, maybe if I'd like to find more out about it, I can click on Argues, I can go to Tools, and then I can click on Dictionary. Now you're going to see over on the right hand side here, it has given me a dictionary insert here with that word. So if I keep on using the word argues, then maybe I need to change that, and maybe opine is a good change there. So I could click on that, see if that's the word that I'd like. Yep, and I'm going to go ahead and go in here and go, the author opines that the changes are not needed. Additionally, maybe I have the ability, I can also, I'm just going to stick to my tools right over here. I have the ability to add voice type. So I can go to Tools, I can go Voice Typing. You'll see that I have this box pop up, and now if I click on the box, anything that I say is going to appear in Google, period. It's much like if you use your phone, those types of things. You do have to dictate punctuation. It is not perfect, so if you try to use quotation marks, it's going to have a difficult time figuring that out. Personally, I find this to be extremely valuable when leaving comments on students' work. Rather than me typing everything out, which does take a little bit longer, I can think through my thoughts and explain them as I go. Another cool function that Google has built into it is if I highlight, go to Tools, and then I can also click on, and I believe it's under Tools, yep, Translate. I can translate the entire document here. So I can select the language. I'm going to pick Deutsch or German. Click on Translate, and now you'll see that I have a new document that has been entirely translated. Now, this is fairly accurate. I am not fluent in German. However, I've studied it quite a bit, and this is pretty accurate. So you do have the opportunity to make some really interesting foreign language correlations between. This could also be useful with if we have any ELL students. So if we go back and we are in here, let's try just a couple other things. Maybe I want to change the font here. And this is one neat thing that Google has, not only in Docs, but all of these things are available in Sheets and Slides. I have built-in fonts that I can use, but if I don't like that, you'll see right here it says More Fonts. If I click on More Fonts, I now have the ability to add fonts. This is what I currently have. Anything that I currently have will have a check mark right here, but I can continue to scroll down and find new fonts that I like. So maybe I like this Patrick Hand. I'm going to click OK, and now it's changed it to Patrick Hand. The last one here is maybe I want to talk, maybe I'm writing a paper about African elephants. Now I can highlight that work, click on Tools, and then go to Explore. Okay, and Explore African elephants is going to give me quite a bit of things. I can look specifically at the topics, so I could click More here, and I could find African elephants. I could look at the web. It's going to give me a web entry, and this is all without me leaving Google Docs. So that's what's really nice is I could sit here and I could use that information, type it, and then be able to draw from it. Maybe I want to go to the World Wildlife Fund here, and I want to cite this as a footnote. So if I want to cite as a footnote, you'll see that it has already inserted that as my citation. Absolutely amazing, right? The power here. So there are lots of different options available. Maybe I want to go back and go to the images. I could find pictures of African elephants here as well, and I can easily insert the picture. Okay, and it goes very easily, very quickly. Straight in, and I can resize it, of course. I could change the alignment. I can wrap text, break text, whatever I need to do. Lots of different options there. Okay, let's look at the add-ons. So with add-ons, we have the ability, go ahead and close that. If we click on add-ons, we have the ability to create or add additional things into Google Docs. If you've never added any add-ons, and it's not just Docs, but Slides and Sheets as well. If you've never added any add-ons, nothing will appear here, but you can say Get Add-ons. And when you click on Get Add-ons, it'll take you to community-made add-ons. So here is one where you can actually translate text in your document rather than translating the entire document. Okay, you can see the rating, 3,100 reviews approximately, and people, looks like they have about a 3.5 star rating. So we can click on it, and that's going to give us specific information about it and how we can change that and what we can do. And then if we click on free, okay, we click on that. It's going to ask us to give permission with the Google account that we're using. We're going to click allow. And you'll see right here it said working. Now it says translate is installed. And I'm going to go ahead and highlight that, click add-ons, go to translate, and click start. I have my pop-up over on the right-hand side. It is limited in language here. Okay. And then okay. And now you'll be able to see that I can easily translate things. I can copy, I can insert them if I'd like to. So I can insert that in wherever I'm at. Or just copy and paste it. Looks like it's having a little bit of difficulty. That's probably what the reviews were saying. So, again, very easy and seamless to do these types of things. There are a lot of add-ons. You'll see I have some that you can create diagrams easily. I have some that you can leave voice comments. I have some that you can highlight individual and then get that information from a different database and easily be able to get that in and out. You can also see the editing history, and this is letter C on this. Editing history, and this is available in all of the different resources. You click on all changes saved in Drive, and now you'll see that I have kind of highlighting here. And over on the right-hand side, I have a breakdown over the last 15 minutes of what I've been doing. Now, if I click on this little arrow, it's going to give me a step-by-step process. So I can go here, I can see, oh, when did I install that or put that picture in? Okay, must have been, yep, 11:02 a.m. Now, if for some reason I wanted to keep track of this one, I could name this. So maybe I'll just say picture added. Okay, and now it says that's when the picture was added. It says November 22nd. Now, if you delete something and you want to get it back, you can actually highlight from this and then go back into your file and then paste it. You can copy and paste it. If you wanted to see this version of it, you can print directly. If you want to restore this entire version, you can hit restore. And I am the only one that worked on this, but there are, if you had 20 people working on this, it would show all of their changes. This is incredibly useful when dealing with students that are working in a group. You can see what they've done, what they haven't done perhaps. You can see who's doing the majority of the work. I've also found students, unfortunately, being academically dishonest through this because I can see where they have copied and pasted. In a matter of minutes, they have 7 paragraphs written, and even the best typers, unfortunately, can't do that. So let's go back out of here. And then the last one here, you can see sharing. So within sharing, there's a couple different things we can do, and I'm going to go ahead and exit out of all my boxes. If I click on share, I'm going to add somebody here to our sharing. Okay. Do I want to, even though they're not part of my G Suite? I'm using the K-12 email address and I'm sharing it with somebody who's not in the K-12 email address. And I'll say yes, that's fine. Now it's going to send that person an email. I'm going to go ahead and open this up in another screen so that you can see 2 people working on it. All right. So at this point now, you can see in the upper right-hand corner that I have another user who's in here. Okay, happens to be my other account. Okay, if I switch over, it's going to show that now I have a different person in here. And wherever that person happens to be, I can hover over and see their cursor. Incredibly useful for working in groups. Students can all be working on the same document. They don't have to worry about having a paper version in front of them and them not being able to see, and then you transition it and then somebody else can't see it. Everybody can literally be working at the same time. Additionally, this allows then, if I highlight something with this user and I click in, you'll see that now I'm seeing exactly what they're doing. I also have the ability to chat in Google Apps. So, for instance, if I'm at home working on a project and my partner is at home working on their project in Google, now what I can do is I can click up here on the Show Chat, and if I just kind of move this over for a second, I can click in the Type Chat here. I could say, hey, can you look over the citation? I want to make sure it works. Well, it is correct. And then I hit enter, and you'll see that it pops up right here. If I go over to my other user, you'll notice that, hey, there's a pop-up, a little red dot noting that there's a chat. Click in here, and I can see that the other user has asked me to look over the citations. I better get that done. Additionally, what you can do is, if we highlight something, you'll see that there's a little bubble that pops up. Even if we highlight something over here. Oops. Okay, same type of thing. If I were to highlight that, and I can add a comment then, and you'll see right here, I have to get this other screen out of the way, but it pops up and I can say, is this correct? And I can leave that comment, and then this person is actually going to see that I left that comment as well. And they can go through, they could link to this comment, they can click on it, they could reply, it looks right to me. And now you'll be able to see that this kind of conversation continues. If somebody clicks resolve, what it's going to do is hide the discussion entirely. But let's say we wanted to actually get a little bit more personal here and say, C. Perlette, and I'm going to click on that user, and I'm going to assign this task to them. Can you cite this image? Okay. Now, when I assign this, what happens is it shows that it's assigned to this user, and it's actually going to send them an email. So if they're not working on it at the same time, they are, if they've been checking their email, they're going to get notified that they have work to complete. So if we click in here, you'll see now that it says it's assigned to you. Let's say that I finish the citation. I'm going to click Mark as done and hide, and now that's going to disappear for all users. So many different functions. You can also see the comment history. Okay, we could look through and see all these different comments. Oops, excuse me. That we've had. Okay, we can reopen them. We could reply back to them. We can link to the comment. So many different options here available to us. Now, all of those functions are available in Google Slides. You'll see I have the share option, I have the save changes. If I click on here and I go to, I can add a font. And the other thing that's really neat is that once you add a font, next time you log in, that font will be available in all of your Google applications. I also have it available in Sheets. You'll see share. I can also insert a link here. I could insert a comment, insert a note, lots of different options. Save changes are available, okay? All of those different options. So what I'm asking you to do for our next meeting is you need to create an interactive Google Doc, Google Sheet, and Google Slide for your specialized content area, and then submit it via Google Classroom and the assignment provided. Then I also want you to reflect on the specific goals and challenges of utilizing Google Classroom and submit via Google Classroom. So these applications, what do you find to be difficult and what are you hoping to accomplish? That ends this presentation for implementing Google Classroom and integrating the G Suite as part of our curriculum. Thank you, and if you have any questions, be sure to email me.